What made you say, hey, I'm going to do this show?
Well, first of all, thank you for assuming that I have the power to just pick and choose my projects. That's $1 million. I should start, disseminating that rumor. But no, I auditioned for it. I do know Dana. I've known him for years. I'm a huge fan of his. He has said that he wrote the role with me in mind. It feels like weird and icky to say that because that seems like how lucky could I possibly get? But I guess that is maybe. It may just be a lie he's telling now that I've got it. He did say that. But no, so, I auditioned for it and I was so happy that it worked out because oftentimes, when someone comes into something, if you want something too much or if someone has a specific person in mind, it's almost like that's a recipe for it to all fall apart. So Dana and I kind of kept looking at each other as the process was going along, going this is still a thing. It's not, this could be dead in a second and I could end up they could just give me the, no, we're still going to do it. I'm reporting for duty on set. Great. Okay. This is real. So it was so exciting to get the job. It's a great role, and I gotta be honest with you. I don't know that I thought it was a role that I would be ever offered in terms of hey, do you want to basically play the female Harrison Ford in something? I guess I had let the idea of that go from whatever my kid brain that all of us want to do that, right? That sort of was tucked away. So even the really hard, challenging stuff about it, it's a very physical job. We were shooting the middle of summer in Georgia. It was tough. So worth it. So worth it. Even when it's 2 a.m. and I'm covered in goo for the millionth time. I'm just thinking, this is great.
Material's so insane.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so funny, so tightly done. It's scary, but it's funny. But also the characters get to sort of exist in a world that is real to them, rather than it's not so wacky that
Had you been a fan of that kind of genre in the past? The horror comedy
big time.
Type of
Yeah.
What was it about Dana's script that kind of made it a little bit different, a little bit unique to you?
Well, I think. Like I said about the characters, there's some really interesting stuff going on with the characters. They, sometimes in that kind of genre, you don't really have time to get to know the characters or to get to know kind of why they're doing what they're doing, or even if you don't have it said to you explicitly, this is the character's backstory, you still get a feel that there's something driving them. Sometimes stuff like this, it's just about the funny, or it's just about the comedy, it's just about the gore, And I think this does this really amazing balance in the same way something like Buffy the Vampire Slayer did, where you want to see more from the characters, not just the spooky, funny, scary stuff. And at the same time, we're talking about someone who wrote for years and years on The Simpsons, some of my favorite years of The Simpsons. So you have that absurdity tucked in, and Dana writes on a multiple of layers. So some stuff happens and you're like, I could almost see that happening to Homer. But then other stuff happens and you're like, oh wait, this is legit serious moment between these two characters where they're coming together on something that's very difficult for them both,
So you were talking about the fact that it's a much more physical role. How did you prepare for that, and how is that kind of different than some of the other things you've done?
Oh my god, I wish I could say that I prepared for it in a way that's it's not like my character's Lara Croft or a character I played in a cartoon. I did a voice for Bubble Legend 4 who has all these amazing martial arts abilities. I did not bring that to the table. Mostly it was I'm glad that I'm almost called myself a jock, which is something someone else recently called me that I was like, no, I'm not, am I? Because in a million years I would never consider myself that. But somehow in the process of moving to LA, living in a city like San Francisco, which I did for 10 years before I moved to Los Angeles, you just walk everywhere with New York. And so you're sort of I'm trim, I'm fit, I'm walking everywhere, you're going up and down the hills. Then I moved to LA and I was getting older and I was like, it's I can't eat a box of cookies anymore. Do I need to find other hobbies as well as eating cookies? So I live right by Griffith Park, which is this amazing landscape. It's if you took Central Park and just created giant hills. I was like, I guess I'm going back to biking, the days of my youth, and started cycling all the time and started playing tennis and just did all these things I never did as a teenager. So now I have all these sporty habits, and it definitely served me well with a role like it. So it's oh, okay, I can run. I do have the, I have endurance now that that I incidentally have because I like doing that kind of stuff. Otherwise, I would have been so screwed. I really would have been. I just would have been like, ew. Yeah.
What's the most interesting stunt you were asked to do?
I mean, I got to chop off someone's head,
Very nice.
which I didn't know was a lifelong dream until it had just happened. And I was like, God, that was satisfying. So, yeah, I feel bad for the person. Of course, it was real. You know,
Right,
it actually
right,
happened.
yeah.
It was a
He's
snuff
dead
film.
now, yeah,
So, R.I.P. Yeah.
Well,